If you're a high school basketball player that wants more playing time next season, you want more confidence in your game, or maybe you have big aspirations for playing at the next level, well then you need to start changing bad habits and creating good habits, okay? And I'm gonna tell you that this summer is probably one of the best times to start breaking those bad habits and creating new good habits in their place. So today I'm gonna give you 3 steps to changing bad habits to good over this summer. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Hard Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So today we're talking about habits again. Yeah, those bad habits we want to break and the good habits that we want to create. And so I want you to remember one thing. Whenever you are on the basketball court, you're creating habits. You're either creating bad habits or you're creating good habits. And a lot of these bad habits have kind of crept into our game from the time we were playing youth ball all the way through into your high school career, and it can go into your college career and beyond. So it can be frustrating to continuously have a bad habit creep up that might be costing you playing time. It might be costing your team games. It might, as you saw the story from last week, it might cost your team their season or their chance at the playoffs, okay? So today I just want to share why summer is the greatest time to change habits. And I'm going to give you 3 steps that you can use this summer in order to change those bad habits, break those bad habits, and make them good habits. Okay. Now, before we get started, I'd like to give away a gift just for listening to me today. If you haven't already downloaded the 8 skills that coaches love to see in players, be sure and download it. I'll put a link in the description below, or you can simply go to hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles and download that. It's just a checklist of skills with some ways that you can start implementing them. And these are intangible skills that coaches love to see. So, why is summertime the best time to break bad habits and create new ones? Well, we've talked about kind of the top reasons that habits, bad habits, stick around, why you can't seem to shake them, okay? One of those reasons is, we talked about it in a past episode, bad habits sometimes work. So when you're in the middle of a basketball season, when you're in the middle of your high school season and games really matter and the playoffs are out there and you have big aspirations for your team, well, you might be like, yeah, I know I really shouldn't do this thing. I know it's a bad habit, but it tends to work. That shot tends to go in sometimes. You know, we talked about a bad habit last week, hey, I have a habit of constantly, driving baseline, and yeah, I step on the end line a lot, and yeah, I get trapped, but when I get by, boy, I score the ball. So, there's a lot of times that it just works during the season, and it's just not the greatest time to break a bad habit and create a new one, because we know that creating a habit takes a lot of time. So we've got summertime. Okay, it's a great time to get started on the steps that it takes. So what's the first step you need in order to break a bad habit and create a good one in its place? Well, the first thing is you might not be aware of your bad habits. You just don't know what you don't know, right? So I want you to find a mentor, a trusted coach, someone that's really knowledgeable about the game, okay? Somebody that you trust, somebody that you feel comfortable going and talking to, and ask them their true opinion of maybe, give me my top 2 bad habits that I need to break. If you feel comfortable enough with your high school coach, maybe it's a club coach, but it needs to be somebody with a high basketball IQ that you can trust and you feel comfortable going to. Now, this channel tries to be that for you, but we don't have a lot of, back and forth dialogue at this point, maybe in the future. But you need to have somebody that you can say, I'm not going to take it bad. I'm not going to be defensive, but let me know. Give me my 2 worst habits that are probably costing me playing time, okay? And once you find that out, once you learn that, that's step 1, right? The knowledge that I've got to break this bad habit, okay? Maybe, it's like we talked about last week. Maybe it's, you're picking up the dribble across the half-court line and getting trapped all the time. Maybe it is your shot selection and you're taking bad shots at the wrong time of the game. It could be a lot of different things. Maybe you dribble too much. Maybe you're dribbling instead of driving, Maybe, I could go on and on and on, right? Maybe on the defensive end, you're not communicating, whatever the case might be. Maybe you're not in the help position. There's just so many bad habits, but so many good ones that you can put in their place. So first step is go out to a trusted source and learn what your bad habits might be. And you don't need to take them all on, right? This summer, take on 1 or 2 of your bad habits, okay? So what's step number 2? And why bad habits are so hard to break? Well, we know that it's hard to develop a new habit. It's even harder to break a bad one and develop a new one. So you need to practice breaking that habit and practice the new good habit. How do you do that? You need to implement drills in your summer workouts that are specifically geared towards creating a good habit out of a bad one. We talk a lot about, little just simple drills that can change your game on this channel. If one of your bad habits is being too kind of loosey-goosey with the ball and not being in a strong position, we've talked about it on this channel. So you can kind of reflect back through some of our videos and see what are some things that we could, look at there. Or you could talk to that trusted coach, that trusted trainer onto what's a simple drill that I could do. Maybe your bad habit is you get into the lane and take off of 1 foot and you're out of control and you get stuck in the air. Well, maybe you could just practice jump stops, being in control, okay? Whatever the case might be for your bad habit, there is a simple drill that you can put into your shooting workouts, that you can put into your summer workouts in order to get that repetition, that feel. Because let me tell you, when you get into the game, you're going to go back to the bad habit. And that's why you continue these workouts. And that's why we want to do it over the summer. You've got, months until next high school season to break this bad habit or to start the process. Now you've got the knowledge. Now you've started training, right? You've started training your body and your mind to break this bad habit and to create a new good one. So number 1 is you need the knowledge. Talk to somebody who you can trust and learn what your bad habits are. Number 2 is start practicing good habits in their place and do those as a regular part of your summer routine. And then number 3 is I want you to now evaluate your future performances, right? Because like I said, you're going to make the mistake even more. You're going to go back to your bad habit in the heat of the game. So if you have a parent, a coach, if somebody's videoing your summer games that you're playing in, whether it's summer league, whether it's AAU, whether it's even an open gym, get some film on how you're playing and just kind of recognize, oh, I'm still slipping into that bad habit, okay? And that's the key to breaking these bad habits and making them good is 1, you need the knowledge. 2, you need to practice and train yourself to get out of them. And then 3, you need to evaluate where you are so that you can continue kind of tweaking the training, and maybe you got to do some more drills. Maybe you need to think about it a little bit more, right? So evaluate your performances and And you're gonna see, oh man, I did it really good that time, right? I came to that jump stop, I was under control. Oh, that time I slipped into the bad habit. And that's okay, that's called progress, right? So those are your 3 steps to this summer: breaking bad habits, creating good ones. Find out what your bad habits are. Practice and train your body and your mind to implement the new good habits in their place. And number 3, evaluate some performances and see where you are in your progress to creating these new good habits. That's what I got for you today. Hopefully that was helpful. Love the likes, love the comments. If this was helpful, be sure and hit the like button below. And until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.